Hello, Ride of Your Life Ministries. Welcome to the Ride of Your Life podcast. It is I, Donnie, with Ryan, and a special guest we'll introduce in just a moment. But Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty darn well. I just got back from Hollywood Nights 2 days ago,
Nice.
and my goodness, was capping off that event quite the difference. Night
Nice.
and day difference, and it was a blast. And I don't want to spoil too much because we're going to do another special episode for just that where I talk about my thoughts on the event. But we got to do a little bit more than we normally would have, so it was a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, so for this week's episode of the podcast, we got a little special treat for you all. First, I want to thank you all for sending in your stories of crazy, wild, odd moments at theme parks. We'll be covering those in just a moment with our special guest, but we do have some business to take care of at the beginning of our podcast this week. Our first ever Ride of Your Life meetup is just 1 week away. And we cannot believe it. We're so excited. We're so excited to meet you all, just interact, and just have a good time at the park. To finish off a great week of Spirit Song. And we're so excited that that's finally back. So Ryan and I did mention last week that we're officially having this meetup on Saturday, June 17th. The time, 11 a.m., over in the Tower Gardens at Kings Island. We're going to meet there, meet you all, just hang out for a little bit, talk. And we have a special gift for you all, for all those who attend the meetup. Some glow-in-the-dark Spirit Song Ride of Your Life wristbands, which are pretty stinking awesome. And we can't wait to get those to you all. And then, Ryan, do you want to share a little bit more about what the attendees can expect for the meetup?
All right, so we are going to be meeting up, I believe, in the front of the park. I'm going off script here. But I do know for a fact that we are going to be having food at Grain and Grill, which is the new restaurant, which I'm actually kind of excited because I've yet to try it. So maybe, just maybe, if we time this up just right, we can go get Grain and Grill for my very first time as a big old Christian happy family together. Mm-hmm. Or if you're not a Christian, come join us anyway.
Absolutely.
And I think that'll be a lot of fun. And we are going to ride Racer together. We elected Racer to be the coaster that we ride together. That way it's in the front of the park. It's a good family coaster, fun for all, nice retrack, smooth for everyone. And we can split into teams and race. Hopefully. I think that'd be a perfect ride if we could pull that off well.
Yeah.
And then we are going to take a nice big old group photo. And somewhere in the mix, we're probably going to have a little pull-over shindig just to show what we're doing and what we're all about here and share a little message of hope. So I think altogether it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll get that itinerary out to you guys very soon.
All right. So that's what you can expect from the first ever Ride of Your Life meetup. Again, we're so excited for this, and we cannot wait to meet you all. And there is no exceptions to who can come. Come one, come all. Everybody's invited. We just want to give back to you all because you've given so much to us as far as following and just your love and support. And we're so thankful for you all. And there's many more to come. So this is just the beginning. So if you have any questions about the meetup, feel free to send us a message on Instagram or on our website, and we'll be glad to talk to you about that. So I think we've delayed this enough, Ryan. I think it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of our episode this week, the moment you've all been waiting for, our blind reactions to these crazy stories. I actually know these stories, but Ryan doesn't. So this whole episode's really to see how he responds to these, and I'll give my thoughts on them as well. But
we just got to leave out the moderator.
I was getting to that, Ryan. But we do have a special moderator.
Sorry.
So you're good. You're good. But we do have a special moderator for this special episode. Um, so without further ado, Ryan, would you like to introduce this evening, morning, day, whenever you're listening to this podcast's moderator?
I would sure love to. So remember like a month or two ago when I was on the podcast and I said I have a nice little surprise for you guys I'll share with you eventually. Well, today's the day where you get to hear what that little surprise is. Well, unless you live under a rock and don't follow any of our socials. But anyway, this is Leah, my girlfriend, and she is also a new member of Ride of Your Life Ministries. And she hasn't been officially crowned member yet, but she's been a huge part of Christian Coasters a lot recently too. So she's been kicking butt in my vlogs, and I have no doubt that she's going to do an amazing job today. And it just so happens to be that she is going to be our moderator because she is very good at reading stories.
And
And
Donnie
I
is
think
not.
we're going to have a lot of fun with this.
All right. Welcome to the virtual studio, Leah.
Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here. My first time
Glad to
ever
have
being on a
you.
podcast.
What better podcast than the Ride of Your Life podcast? So hey,
Right?
so so to give a little rundown on what to expect for this special episode, Leah's going to be reading some stories that you all have submitted and some that we found online. Again, thank you all so much for sending those in. But after Leah reads these, we're going to give a little time for Ryan to react and to give some commentary, and I'll comment as well. And then I have a few stories as well that I'll have Ryan and Leah respond to. So they haven't heard those yet either. And if you two have stories you want to throw in as well, feel free to throw those in too. So, all right, Leah, I think we're ready. Go ahead and give us story number 1.
Okay, here we go. One time, my brother and his friends were at King's Dominion and had been waiting in line for Flight of Fear for a long time. They finally were next in line to ride, but one of his friends had to wait for the next train. My brother got on, and they had the brilliant idea to high five as the train launched. In parentheses, it says, brother was strapped in, and his friend was still in line. I don't know how they reached. They do it, and when my brother gets off after he sees his friend waiting at the exit, he asks him if somehow already rode, and his friend's response was, they kicked me out. They would have kicked my brother out too, but he had already gone 0 to 60 down the dark tunnel. I don't think his friend ever got to ride Flight of Fear that day. I don't know what they expected to happen, honestly. It wasn't as funny in the moment, but we laugh every time looking back.
Oh boy, I'm surprised he didn't knock his hand off.
That's like, why? What did, like, you couldn't have given him a high five anywhere else? Like, the exit, the entrance, outside the park. I mean, do you realize you guys are both risking a limb there? You're lucky you came out unscathed.
Comes all.
I mean, you just got the good old Cedar Fair heap ho though, so
Get a little
I don't know.
slap on the hand.
It never said what kind of like punishment they got though. So, I mean, I'm assuming they were kicked out for the day. I hope they didn't get banned.
Well, I don't know.
Imagine doing a high five like that on Top Thrill Dragster. You would really lose a limb.
That's what would shut the ride down forever, is if you did something like that. Oh.
How could you even reach Dragster? Would you be like the Incredibles woman? Like, you just, your arms just, it's like, arms down, psst, psst. Hey, give me a high five. There's just his hand that's just floating. It's like an old SpongeBob move. Oh, goodness.
It's like it's Halloween Haunt, dude loses a limb. Oh, wow, they got really lifelike props on here. They got an arm flopping through the road. Like, no, that's a real arm. Like,
that's not from Slaughterhouse.
No, it's not.
Goodness.
Gosh.
Okay, you ready for the second one?
Let's go for it.
I think so.
Okay. My odd theme park story was from Thursday at Hershey Park when the Jolly Rancher mascot came up to me, fist bumped me, and kept pointing at my shirt because he recognized me. Then gave me thumbs up when I said, "Yes, I'm Katie's Coasters."
Wow.
Oh, thank you,
Pop
Katie.
off, Katie.
Got all the Hershey characters watching your videos. That's awesome.
Does that mean your
Man.
content is pretty sweet?
But
Remember your karma, Squidward?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, though. I have been recognized. It doesn't happen too often, but there's some staff members here and there. They're like, "Hey, I've seen your videos before." It actually just happened at Hollywood Nights. That guy's name is also Ryan, too, but I can't say I've ever had a mascot recognize me. So that's that's a pretty cool flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I have PTSD from characters. Like I can do like the Disney princesses, like where you can see the people dressed up, like their faces.
Face characters.
But
yeah.
ever since I was like 3 or 4 years old, I've been terrified of mascots. Like I faced my fears in 2018 when we went to Disney World and I met Minnie and Mickey because they were about as tall as me. But like I just can't do characters. That was all I could do. Like they still scare me to this day. I will run in the opposite direction.
What? You're afraid of Snoopy?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I love Snoopy and Charlie Brown. Like
Yeah.
I went to Winterfest this past Christmas with my best friend and my mom, and we saw the Snoopy show because we're suckers for that. And I stood beside Charlie Brown, and I wasn't even scared. I gave him a high five. I hugged him. I wasn't even scared, and I was proud of myself because, it's the Peanuts characters. They're cute.
They're fun.
So now it makes sense why you get terrified every time I put my chicken mask on that I won from Kings Island.
That might be part of it, but also I don't want to see my boyfriend as I'm a squicken.
If you guys don't know that reference, in 2021, the day after my birthday, I went with some old Chick-fil-A coworkers to Kings Island, and for no reason, 2 of us bought a squid hat and 2 of us bought chicken masks. And we went around the park, and for one day, we called ourselves the Squicken Cult. So, yep, that happened.
Oh my gosh. Okay, third story. I'm actually excited for this one because it says Winterfest. So it literally starts off with a ha ha ha. Last Winterfest, my husband and I went up to CGA and met up with a bunch of enthusiasts I met on Instagram. I needed a bunch of credits at the park, so we got in line for Woodstock. We waited for a bit, and when it was our turn, they loaded all 6 of us, full-grown adults, into a train with a mom and her child in the front. The train started up the lift and just slowed to a stop. The ride ops tried to get it started again, and it only went a few more inches, then stopped. We ended up having to evacuate and breaking the coaster for a while. It was hilarious, and we still joke about it now.
It said that was one of the Woodstock Express kiddie coasters, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I could totally see it. 6 full-grown adults in the back of the train.
And just
I'm guessing that means that they all had their own seat too, because that's how I have to sit in Woodstock.
See, until I read the end of that, I was just picturing them all crammed in there like you are with your legs, and them like suffering the whole ride.
No, I think they all had their own car, and then the mom and the child probably had the front car. That's hilarious.
That's
though. You just broke the ride. Like, it's funny because
all the weights in the back.
A couple years ago, we would always go to Kings Island, me and my former roommates, and we would go try and intentionally Valley Woodstock Express late at night. We'd all sit as far in the back of the train as we could, and usually at that time of night, Woodstock's so dead, like there's no one riding it, no kids or anything. It's just us, and never worked. So good job, guys. You actually managed to pull something off on my bucket list.
And they responded, I responded to their story like, "Oh, that's hilarious," and they're like, "I felt so bad for all the kids waiting. The ride ops were so nice too. They were apologizing to us." I was like, "This is totally our fault."
Well, at least they
Yeah.
didn't like do it on purpose. They weren't expecting it to happen.
I mean, it's designed to take you, otherwise they wouldn't have started the coaster up, so
No,
it's
exactly.
not their fault, but it is their fault. It's
I
like
g-
one of those things where it's like,
It's like everyone sucks here in this situation, is what you call
yeah,
it.
it's
I
Murphy's
get that
Law.
happening on like yeah, I get that happening on like the Great Pumpkin Coaster because that thing is terrifying. So, side story here. So I rode the Great Pumpkin Coaster for the first time ever since I was a kid the other day with a family friend of ours, and that was terrifying, especially going up that first hill. It like jerks you a little bit. I'm like, oh crap, did I just break this ride? So I have a similar story to this lady, and yeah, I'm never doing that again. And at least I got a credit for
That yeah,
now, I guess.
that's the next not the next. Oh my gosh, that's the last coaster credit I need in Kings Island. And thankfully, I'm babysitting a little boy who goes to my church, and they just recently went to Kings Island a couple weekends ago. They got a gold pass, and next week after VBS is all said and done, I'm going to take him. And I'm like, you're riding the Great Pumpkin Coaster with me because I need this credits. I love it though. He's such a sweet kid. I'm gonna try it because he really wants to try because he's at 48 inches, so he can ride most of like the smaller slash big rides, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
He did Racer, but he wasn't a fan. But I'm gonna try to see if he can get on Bat and Mystic. I think he'd really like Mystic. He's
He might,
7, so
if he gave Racer a second try, he might like it with the retrack too.
that's what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
thinking. Because him and his mom went on it a couple weekends ago.
Just
Okay,
don't, just set him in a non-wheel seat. That's the biggest trick.
that's
Non-wheel seat.
Okay.
and with him being little, I was thinking like front seat too. Oh, and they didn't do Adventure Express because it wasn't open. So I think he'd really
Yeah.
like Adventure Express.
And this is how me and my
Yeah.
girlfriend are. We go on rabbit trails.
Sorry, guys. So sorry.
And I hop on the trail too. But one I haven't ridden in a long time is the Flying Ace aerial chase, the
Oh,
little knockoff Banshee. Uh, that's what I like to call it, the knockoff Banshee.
You mean the little
But
Vekoma hang and bang? That thing is
pretty
painful.
much, I haven't ridden in a long time, so I couldn't tell you. But
Jackhammer the ride.
nice. Jackhammer the ride.
What in the world?
So I do that every time there's a ride at the end of a ride's name because of Tomb Raider the Ride's original commercial promo video. They were like, and now we go into the Temple of Tomb Raider the Ride.
What?
You look it up on YouTube; it's hilarious.
I'm
Which
gonna
fun
have to do
fact?
that.
For Adventure Express, for all those who have not ridden it yet, there's a lot of Easter eggs to Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, and a few of the other park's former rides.
oh no.
Well, that's
So-
both of us. So
So
We're
keep
hopefully going to go Saturday if it's not too crowded.
keep an eye out for some of those nods.
So the next story is let's see. Okay. One time at Hershey Park, there were this father and son on a coaster trip. The son was the bigger enthusiast than the dad. They get on Suitor Dooter Looper, and when they get off, the boy fell asleep on it. LOLs. Ride ops were trying not to laugh. So when it was Dad and I's turn, we talked about doing that when the train came into the station and then open our eyes and just laugh. Well, not only did we get a laugh out of it, so did their ride ops. This time they busted out laughing.
the kid
Classic.
fell asleep on Super Duper Looper.
How is that possible?
Okay, here's the weird thing. I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me correct, it's a Schwarzkopf. And that
Yeah.
thing has, it's like just a standard lap bar. Like there's no over the shoulder. And, with Schwarzkopf, there's circular loops. So I'm not even going to lie. Like, you catch some pretty solid airtime in the backseat on this thing. and it's actually kind of intense for a family coaster with a loop. It's kind of intense. I actually like the ride. I only rode it once though, but that's pretty funny though to fall asleep on it. I mean, if you're a kid, that probably is pretty intense.
Well, it's
I
like
wonder if he just straight up passed out.
that's what I'm wondering, like blacked out almost, because there is no way I could, like, I understand like some of the steel coasters I've rode so far are super smooth, and I really like the roar effect to it, but like them suckers travel anywhere from 70 to 90 miles per hour. You can't like I could not feel
How can you
comfortable
go to
enough to be
sleep?
whipped around to fall asleep.
I get falling asleep on like laugh track or something like that where it's not too wild, but
Yeah.
Heck, I couldn't even fall asleep on tidal twists at the Columbus Zoo. Talk about whiplash.
Not to mention, you're too busy going, ah! Every single coaster, like we're doing Sea Dragon, right? We're doing Sea Dragon, the oldest coaster in Ohio. Probably, we're looking on the same scale of like Teddy Bear at Strickers Grove, Woodstock Express at Kings Island. Small little figure 8 wooden roller coaster. And this wooden roller coaster happens to have tiny trains too. So we're crammed in the seat like sardines. Like we barely fit in there. My kneecaps are they're just slamming the front of the train. Or at least the seat we're in. And here's Leah. We go up the lift hill. We go down the first drop. She's like, wee, wee. And then I don't know if there was something in the wind she caught when we got into the second half of the ride. But she just starts going, ah! As loud as possible.
That's
the
awesome.
entire rest of the way. So the Columbus Zoo is super chill with like filming. They're like Strickers Grove. So I'm filming like a 1080-60 POV, 16:9 for YouTube, which is horizontal. And Leah's like, all right, I'm going to film one on my phone. That way we can use it for like TikTok and Reels and whatnot. I'm like, go right ahead. Just don't drop your phone, whatever. In both of our clips, you can see this like probably 9-year-old girl turn around, give us she gives Leah the stupidest side eye.
Bombastic side eye.
Oh my gosh. She just looks at us like we're stupid. I'm like, I don't know her. In that moment, I'm like, I don't know her.
Listen.
It was so funny.
Here's the thing with me. I don't care if it's a small family coaster. I don't care if it's a big coaster that everybody dogs on. I will scream on every coaster and lose my voice. It just makes it more fun. And my mom, I can't talk. I'm sorry, guys. At my mom, at my age, she loved riding coasters too. And she said, I used to scream. I used to scream all the time. Like, it just, some people think it's more fun. And people's like, oh, it's annoying. No screaming. I'm sorry. Do you make the rules? But like, I will be that person that screams on the Great Pumpkin Coaster.
No, but like, tidal twist, that thing is insane.
Whiplash is crazy.
There is no falling asleep. But actually, if you did pass out on tidal twist, I could see that because, in all honesty, if you don't have anyone sitting next to you and you're in the middle seat, the whiplash you get is so much that you dang near hit your head in the side of the train.
Well, yeah. And
it's
like,
insane.
Ryan was with me. Like, we were sitting in the middle. So if I was in that seat by myself with no like barricades on either side of me, I probably would have leaned further to the side than I should have. Okay. So are we ready to move on to the next story?
I sure am.
Yes.
Let's do this. Also, guys, sorry, like people listening, I am very grammar technical because I'm becoming a teacher. So if I pronounce any of these like theme park names wrong, coaster names wrong, I apologize. I'm not doing it on purpose. Also, some of the ways that people, because Donnie just copied and pasted these. So however they like word it, I'm just reading it how they typed it. So disclaimer. Okay. On May 21st, 2023, I witnessed a family at King's Dominion win a big sloth prize from one of the Midway games. Side note, those things are ugly. While I saw them walking with it, I really did question how they were going to fit it in the car and what they were really going to do with it as it was enormous. While leaving after the park closed, I witnessed the family try to fit the sloth prize in their car, and it was definitely funny seeing them try to fit it in. They did manage to fit it in, thankfully, but that effort will be comedy gold to me.
I'm curious how they got it in there.
I can just see them like all 5 of them or however many pushing it.
I'm sorry. All I can think of is the Griswold family Christmas tree.
Yes.
Dad,
strap
did
it
you
to
bring
the
a
top.
You just strap it to the top. I mean, what he doesn't mention is like how many kids are in this vehicle, whether it's a type of van or whatnot. But
I wonder
I'm
what
just
kind of
seeing like
vehicle it
some
was,
mini
too.
SUV with like 2 kids, a mom and a dad. And I bet you they got that stuffed animal in. And these kids are probably, they got their head like smushed up against the glass like this. Like they're in an aquarium or something.
No, okay, do you guys know what the roller skating cars are? The Fiats, like the really tiny, giant roller skates. I'm
yes.
Oh no. You replace your passenger prince or princess with this giant sloth, and it's just taking up the entire car. Like, you can't see out your mirrors or your rear view, so you're just like, all right, this is cool.
Something I would love to do with those prizes is cut the back open and get inside and just walk around like a mascot suit. Just imagine a kid doing that, and then get in the car and they're waving out the window. Oh, is that the teddy bear's waving at me? It's like, that's creepy.
Well, it's almost like at Buc-ee's, they have like everything for that. Pillow pets, knockoff Squishmallows.
Don't they have onesies?
You could,
do.
you can dress up as the beaver for only, I think it's like
Can't be
$36.
Wait, did you say a knockoff Squishmallow? You did not tell me that. I'm gonna have to get me a Buc-ee's one.
I did tell you that, and you're like, oh no, I don't want it because it's not a Squishmallow.
Well, I'll have to see it. Guys, if you can't tell, if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, I have a whole Squishmallow collection. It's not okay. It's a hobby, okay? It's a hobby. I'm holding one right now. I have a whole bunch more in my office. I switch them out I have holiday ones. I have Halloween, Easter, Christmas ones. I switch them out. It's bad. And I got this purple one from Kings Island this year, and I've got Diamondback, I've got Orion, and I've got Beast. I'm glad I bought them when I did in the 2021 season because they no longer sell them in the shop. They only have Mystic, the Beaver, and then they have the Blue Ice Cream and the Flying Pig.
So, 2 things. 1, I'm going to embarrass you on air. This is not going on YouTube. And 2...
I'm so sorry.
And 2, what's funny is I did not know that Squishmallows were like... I know people collected them, but I didn't know they were like Pokemon cards. You get your rares and ultra rares and everything.
Oh, yeah, there's ultra rares.
So, the very first time we went to Target together, I kid you not, she squeals. She's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's just a stuffed animal, chill. And she's like, it's ultra rare. I'm like, is it? Because it really looks just like all the others.
It's blue.
And then she shows me the tag. She's like, no, look, it's ultra rare. And she just hugs it and she goes to the self-checkout with it. And then she met another Squishmallow fan. And then I guess there's an app for this stuff too.
Oh my gosh.
So these people get mad into this stuff.
No, people will fight over them. But that one I was just holding up to the camera. If you guys want a description, it's a blue cow with yellow horns. His name is Tuluk. Yeah, Tuluk. And he's blue. And his tag says ultra rare. I've seen people on TikTok have it. There's groups on Facebook. And I'm telling you, Cincinnati Targets, they're just a different breed. They have way better selection than Columbus. And I was freaking. I was literally screaming. I was going to pee myself.
Nah, she was pretty hyped.
Okay, moving right along, guys.
Next story.
For the theme park fails, parents, if your kid tells you they don't want to ride a ride, ... don't make them. No matter if they're plenty tall enough or you'll love it once you've ridden it, in all quotes.
Oh boy.
That's it?
Yeah, that was just the short of it, because it's split. It's split.
I Yeah, I think there's a part.
Or there's
two
another
on
one
that?
next to it, down below it.
Yeah.
Okay. I made my 10-year-old son ride the now defunct, I'm sorry. I
You're
think
fine.
Mac Tower at Busch Gardens, Virginia, after we waited in the queue a short time and he decided against it. He did not enjoy it, ... nor did the others in line behind us for having to wait longer so the ride attendant could clean up the puddle of pee he left in his seat. And it's got the slap face emoji. I'm a horrible dad and person.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
with
it
part
takes the
2 that
cake.
makes a
Okay,
lot more
before we
sense.
even get into the story, let me just say I would rather mess with pee and see pee and smell pee than puke. Pee is fine.
Yeah.
Puke, I have a problem with.
Story
Oh,
time.
man.
Speaking of bodily fluids. So the other night, Kinsey and I are riding Windseeker. We get up to our seats, we look down, and there's a brown liquid in our seats. So we have to wipe it down. We're just like, what is that? It's like, I guess at this point, pee's probably your best. Not your best, but your
That's just melted
best
chocolate.
option.
It's hot
It's
outside.
chocolate.
I mean, it did not look like it was chocolate. It was like it looked like brown pea almost.
Someone really said
Like,
It's like someone's dehydrated.
did someone, like, go commando and just very swiftly, during the ride, just, like...
I don't know.
let it poop out the side, like just raise their butt up.
Someone
I
got
have
too
so
excited
many
about
questions.
Windseeker.
Like, I
know.
equally want to know and don't want to know for your sake.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, here's the important question, though. Did it have a stench?
I don't smell that stuff. I don't want to know.
I could just see Donnie now. Oh yeah,
Waft it. Waft it
I don't
up.
know, like, we could use the scientific method and got a little waft. That way we could at least determine, okay, this is something edible and melted, or someone had a problem.
It was definitely not melted anything.
I could see
Really?
Ryan doing that, just like sticking his nose down in it because he can't smell anyway.
Science.
So a brown liquid, and it wasn't melted.
No.
Maybe it was just root beer. Someone stupid brought a drink on. I don't know.
Yeah, because
I'll
like
say that just for my sanity.
yeah.
We'll leave
Okay,
it at root beer.
All right, so when you sat in it, did you have a stain, or... You know, we got to ask all the questions now. You can't just, like...
So,
everyone wants to know.
So we are prestige holders, so we had the front of the line pass with us. Kenzie used that to wipe it up. I was like, I'm sitting on the edge of the seat, not sitting back on this thing. So I'm like almost up on the handlebars, far away from that liquid. So it's like
Hi, yes, right up. Is there a way I can sit on top of the restraint?
And fall to my death.
Go ahead. They don't even check.
Clear. All right, guys.
Push. Okay. All right, one click. There's not
Okay.
even any clicks. It's like as long as it's down, they don't care.
Fine. Okay. This next one I'm excited for.
All right.
I like glanced at it and I already know it's going to be good because I'm a band kid and it's going to be funny. In line for Beast, and there were two kids that kept periodically cutting in line short sections at a time. ... So much so that every single person in line knew their faces and were irritated by them. While I was just entering the loading station portion of the queue, I saw two security guards walking by, and a couple moments later, I saw a ride-op point right at those two kids, and security promptly pulled them out of line. ... Almost instantly, the entire queue started saying, "Nah, nah, nah, nah. Hey, hey, goodbye." ... From the entire loading station clear out through the queue.
That's like in
I wish
baseball
that
when
actually-
someone gets ejected, they're like, Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no
Oh,
more.
it was such a
It's so
classic.
funny. Oh my
This
gosh, I
almost
would have
seems like a
loved to have been
fake
a part of
story.
that.
It sounds fake because they don't care.
No, they don't.
Well,
Like, two
okay,
security guards, like, I don't know.
King's on ride operator here from 2021 season. It
Mhm.
must take either a staff member themselves or two separate individual parties to report someone in order for security to get involved. If not, moot point.
Yeah.
And that policy, I know for a fact, has not changed.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
And my question is, where's your chaperone? I have to ask myself a lot. It's like, where's your chaperone? It's
Literally, are you
after
under the age
4.
of 15?
Yep.
It's after 4.
No,
Oh
but see,
boy.
like, I usually don't have the balls to do things like that, like tell people, hey, you're cutting and lying, because, you tattled on people in, like, preschool and kindergarten when people cut, and the teacher's like, don't do that, we're all, because I have experience with preschool, like, I taught a preschool class this past year, and they all were like, I want to be in the front, I want to be in the front, even though they get line leader positions every week, and it's like, I tell them, kids, we're all, friends, we're all going to the same place. Who
It's
cares
like,
if
is
it's
it
in
even
front of the back?
worth it?
And it's like, if that ever happens to me, I'm gonna be like, hey, if you're not with a group of people, you need to go back to the line because these people have been waiting over, 45 minutes or whatever, which I waited almost 3 hours in line for the Beast That Haunt because I knew that was gonna be my last ride for the season, like night ride. And my one friend that went with me, he was so upset. But it's just like, okay, we're all going to the same place. They're gonna get you whether or not, as long
Yeah.
as it doesn't break down and it's before midnight.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand the whole line cutting thing. Like, what are we back in kindergarten?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
That's
mean, it's like
ridiculous.
for me, it's like if I want a specific row, I'm either gonna ask people if they want to go ahead of me, or I'm just gonna
Mhm.
let people go ahead of me and see if the ride
Yeah.
op's cool with that. Because if not, like I'm not gonna cause a big scene. Like, oh, I traveled all the way here for row one. Plus, I learned the hard way. This is kind of a side rant, but in 2018, I was down at Cedar Point, actually up, and I was up at Cedar Point trying to ride Millennium Force for my first ever time at night. So I've ridden it plenty of times before, but I wanted to try it at night. Get in line, wait 2 hours. It's a midnight close, by the way. And we live like 3 hours from the park. You see where this is going. We're the next up. And I looked at my brother's like, hey, there's a seat open. There's like no one in that row. We should go for it. And I said, nah, dude, we waited all this time. We got to get that backseat ride. I kid you not. They sent one more train, which we could have been on. And the cable lift I heard just went ching.
Oh,
And that thing
that
did
is the
not move for
Lord.
another hour. And we walked out of that park at 1 in the morning without a ride on it. And I learned my lesson that
Lord's
day for the rest of my
protecting you.
life. If
You're
you want to ride and an experience so bad, you get the credit first and then you get picky on where you sit.
yeah, yeah,
So
that's valid.
I still feel the pain of that to this day.
At least you're
I'd be
here.
so mad. It's like the whole Texas
Yes.
trip all over again with Boardwalk
Oh my gosh, Boardwalk Bullet. Don't get me started. That
Drop
was terrible.
5 hours. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ryan, but like I was thinking about this. You guys landed in what airport? The Dallas airport?
Dallas, yeah.
You drove
John Wayne.
5 hours. 5 hours to go ride that. I'm sorry, but it's like if you wanted to go ride that, wait for a separate trip where you're flying into that airport and you have to drive so far in case something like that would happen.
It looks like the best coaster in Texas, and I've heard it's so
Probably
good. So
was.
we were like, all right, we got to go do this. It's been on my bucket list forever.
Like, I'm sorry, who drives 5 hours from an airport just to go ride one measly little coaster?
That guy.
And who drives 5 hours from an airport to not ride a coaster? Me and
Not
Justin.
that guy.
I was gonna say, if you're looking at me, excuse me.
Yeah, that was like, don't get me wrong. Like, watching Twisted Timbers break down was pretty painful. But at least there was Intimidator 305 and other stuff to ride. And I missed some credits here and there at certain parks.
But we're
But
gonna.
when you drive that far for a one coaster, knowing good and well that there's nothing around that's open, like there was a little carousel that's probably the size of my upstairs bedroom. That holds like 10 people that we could have rode. That was it. Everything else was closed. Not even a fair ride or anything.
So stupid.
We watched it test 3 times, and oh my gosh, I've never had anything more painful since.
That's so dumb. It's like, I wonder if they just were either A, being lazy that night, or B, they genuinely didn't have enough like help on hand that night.
I don't think it was help, because when we asked them if they'd start the ride up, they started it up. But once it started raining again, they're like, yeet, we're out of here. Sent it 3 times in the rain, and they're like, yep, that's it.
Being lazy, blaming it on the rain.
All they had to do was just cycle it one more time with us, and we would have been sold. Like, one ride would have done it.
Nope, can't do that.
No. I would have even taken row 6. Oh, boy.
All right.
That's funny. Okay, we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The other week at Carowinds, I rode Fury next to a guy and his friends. This guy was not having a fun time on the lift hill and was panicking big time. I told him it was an amazing ride and that he'd enjoy it. He said, "Oh no, I've been on it before. I just black out on roller coasters." I'd never seen anyone black out like this before. But the second we crested the lift, he just went lights out, ... He came in and out of consciousness a few times during the negative G's, but would just pass out again during heavy positive G's. His friends and I had a good laugh, and the dude was a good sport about it.
That reminds me of the old famous Diamondback video where someone got that illegal POV, and it's got the old Windows shutdown and startup music. And every time he'd pass out, he'd go, doo 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 doo. And then every time he'd come back up, he'd like, doo doo doo, or whatever the sound was.
No, but like, there's been like off season, like when you ride Diamondback again for the first time, like opening weekend, like I experienced it last year and this year. I'm like, even though this is a 295-foot drop, I'm like, whoa. I get to that bottom and I forget how forceful it is, and like, I see little specks. I gray out for a second. I'm like, I forgot how intense it was.
Hey, that's 235.
I thought it was 295.
Nah, 295 is like almost giga.
I could have swore it said 295 in one of the little flags from like 2 years ago. I could have swore.
Nah, fam, nah. It's not even 295.
Okay,
it's not even close.
I could have swore it was 295.
Because Orion's 287. And Orion's even taller.
I thought it was 300.
The drop is 300. The drop is, 301 feet? Yeah. And then it has a 287-foot lift hill.
Oh, you're talking about, like, the tallness of the coaster itself, not the actual... Peak, okay, the drop hill. Okay. Guys, I'm still learning. For those listening, I'm still a baby Thuzy. I'm learning.
I'm with you, Leah, especially with this post we put out today as of this recording, where I have defunct rides, and apparently one of the coasters on there was not defunct, just a rename.
Donnie previewed that to me last week, and I'm like, that ride is still there. I was like, I didn't know they took that out.
There's one on there that you said is still there, and I'm like, okay, good catch. And then you didn't mention the California Cobra. What was it that was on there?
Oh,
I forget
shoot.
what it was.
No, it was Carolina Cobra, because it got renamed the Flying Cobras. I think it was on that list.
I just remember we ended up with a gap at the bottom of the page because we got rid of one. I don't know. But I'm a learning enthusiast nonetheless. All right, I think we have one more story from Leah, then I got one.
Okay, so one more. It's short. Rode Mystic Timbers, and the entire train decided to chant, "Shed, shed, shed, shed," through the entire course of the ride. When the train got back to the station, all the ride ops faces were just like, what just happened?
All right, that one hits close to home because that's actually the only roller coaster besides Woodstock Express I got to work. So I can only imagine. I would have been
What
like,
ride was that
"Welcome
ride
back,
off?
Shed Train. How was that ride?"
Shit.
When that train comes to a full and complete stop, you may push up on those lap bars, unbuckle those seatbelts, and exit to your right. You guys have a great rest of your night here at Kings Island. Have fun. Now, literally, like it's still
Beautiful.
stuck in my head. I
I
still
got
got
a
it, y'all.
little tear.
But anyway, like I can only imagine just the amount of hype that would bring. I would be happy personally. Like I was that one ride op that I'm pretty sure drove the other ride operators crazy because I was the one that just was trying to make the station get as loud as possible every single train.
Who
Because
cares?
you know what? If I'm going to be out of breath and I'm going to be paid minimum wage to do one of the hardest jobs there is out there, which, by the way, ride operators get severely underpaid at all parks, especially Kings Island. I
15
don't care
hours.
if you hear me or not. You need to pay your ride operators more. Anyway, back to my point, though. You're working so hard. I'm at least going to make it the best experience I can for not only the guests but myself because you're out of breath when you're spieling and checking bars. Like you're running on pure adrenaline for like 45 minutes to an hour, however long you've got that microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to make it as fun as possible. So I can only imagine. That would have been so much fun. That's just the first thing I thought of. Like, man, I wish I was there for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And to wrap up this episode of Crazy Stories, which again, thank you all so much for sending these in. It was fun reacting to these, and we may do this again in the future. Maybe change up the theme to maybe your favorite or memorable, funny haunt stories. I think that we'd get a lot of funny ones from that, like
That would be funny.
with
I
the
would love
scare
that.
actors. I've actually, with that, as a teaser for that, Ryan and I have a little story from when we were at Haunt opening night this past year.
We
So we're over in the Carnival Scare Zone or whatever it's called, the Coney Mall, whatever it
do.
is,
Right.
and we're just there vlogging. And then there's like this voodoo priestess right next to the DJ. She's over there doing. Blah, blah, blah. Then this boy comes over, starts dancing with her, and she starts casting a spell. He starts shaking and starts falling over, and they start dancing. Check both of our Haunt opening night videos, and that was something.
That was a good one. I remember this now.
That night was interesting overall.
Yeah.
And then
It's a different breed.
Nightwalkers.
It's a different breed during haunt. Let me tell you, it's something.
It's so funny because I hate Halloween stuff with the passion,
I do too.
and I get scared easily. But they're just so bad at Kings Island. Like they're not even trying to scare you, which I
How did they
appreciate.
get #1 theme park haunt?
I don't know. I will say this though, for everyone outside the maze, the sliders were the only
the
ones
best
that would
part.
ever actually successfully jump scare you.
Nah,
Yes.
nah. No, like call me like a.
Oh, and the bush dude. Sorry,
Huh?
The bush dude.
the bush
Oh
dude.
my gosh, I have a
guys.
story.
I forgot about the bush dude, but yeah, he's pretty good too.
Oh my gosh, the bush dude. I have a story about that. So yeah, about the whole. That's why Ryan and I get along so well, and we're together because I hate Halloween. I don't know why. It's a holiday. It's basically celebrating evil, darkness, and I'll go to haunt, just for fun.
It's fun. It's
But
fun.
like, I don't like to be scared. You get in my bubble. You get up in my personal bubble, and you come up and touch me or whatever. Mama's gonna get her whip out because get out of my bubble. Don't even know. But anyway, my friends and I.
Not today, Satan.
And not today, Satan.
You're gonna hit him with that Bible.
Literally. Got the Holy Bible of Jesus right here, guys.
Or at least the Bible app. You're just gonna hit him with your phone with the Bible app open.
So, if you guys follow me on Instagram, which I'll plug at the end if Donnie doesn't mind, but
You're fine.
on my personal Instagram, I posted pictures from Haunt last year, and my friends and I went to Haunt together, my college friends, and we all dressed up as something. So boy best friend dressed it up as a skeleton. My girl best friend dressed it up as a Pokemon figure. It was like a onesie. And I, of course, went all the way out and dressed up as Ladybug. Because if you have not heard of the cartoon Miraculous Ladybug, I watched that. So, of course, here I am in a kid's costume. I really don't care. And so we're about to leave. We're walking down International Street. And I tell my friend, oh, and I'm like, keep your eyes peeled. If you make direct eye contact with these scare actors, they won't come up to you. We forgot one on International Street. So there's like the gift shop, and there's 2 pine trees. He was in between those 2 pine trees. And my poor Owen, he's on the right side. So he's near the pine trees, and I'm on the left side. All of a sudden, he goes, right in his face. And Owen screams like a little girl. And then his screaming scared me. I'm like, what was that? He was like, it was the Bushman. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about him. He just hides in random places. My heart was racing, but his scream made me laugh, and it was funny. It was funny.
I think I was driving Donnie crazy when I went to hunt with them last year, because I think I spent a solid 25 minutes doing nothing but getting B-roll of the Bushman scaring people.
Okay. So
never
Ryan's
got
behind
old.
the Bushman, and I'm in front of him. We're both going back and forth with the video, so we're both filming for our vlogs of the bush guy. Kids flying everywhere because they're getting the crap scared out of them. And
Okay, but it's funny. I'm hiding in a spot where people getting scared can't see me. But it wasn't until I watched Donnie's video. I'm in that blue company jacket that's like super bright. It's got the zipper pockets, my rain jacket. Very bright, vibrant blue.
Uh-huh.
I look like a freaking stalker in this haunt video of Donnie's. Because I just got my camera and I'm just sitting there like... I'm just sitting there. You can see my camera. I just look like I'm creeping on this dude. And I'm like, no. This looks so different.
because I made it look natural. I'm sitting over in one of the little tables by the fountain with the umbrella. I'm sitting under there trying to blend in, and Ryan's over there behind Mr. Bushman with his camera.
Are we just gonna call him Mr. Bushman? And if y'all don't know what Ryan's like or has ever met him in person, he's 6 foot. So you can just imagine this guy with his camera phone out and just
sitting in Starbucks.
It's pitch black out, and I'm in a bright blue jacket. Hard to miss, right?
just this tall dude.
I saw a glimpse of that clip on Donnie's vlog. I'm like, I look so creepy. I look like a character.
But I think the best, or not the best, but the one thing that Ryan drove me nuts about was waiting for this casket to open. So we're waiting for this animated prop that goes off every 20 minutes. Ryan's over there with his camera ready to get this zombie popping out of a box. I'm like, dude, this thing's never going to pop. He's like, yes, it will. And I'm over there just walking around the little grave tombstones and everything. And he finally gets it. And he almost gave up. So he turned off his camera and he's walking away and it starts shaking. He's like, oh, I got it. And then you got the hearse.
Isn't it my
and all
back
that
lot?
too.
Isn't it back by a back lot where the coffin pops up open?
It's right. It used to be there, but they moved it. This year, it was right where the clock hands are, keyword, supposed to be. Which, by the way, I still don't think they've gotten fixed.
Have they used that little kid yet?
Luna and Molly.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It
pops up out of the car or something.
Yeah. Now another funny story from opening weekend. So we're out with Ryan and Leah underneath the Eiffel Towers talking, and we see some geese just walking as they do at Kings Island, and all these kids start trying to stomp on the geese, and the geese lose it, and they start chasing these kids. These kids are running. Yeah. Kids don't
like
mess with geese.
It was like a smackdown. It was like Goose versus Stupid Face. Pay per
They are
view
mean.
here at Kings Island.
I mean, that sucker, I thought he was gonna. He was flapping his wings and everything. I thought he was gonna take off and land on his
He
head.
was hissing at him, charging at him. Like, I thought this dude was about to get jumped by a goose. Like, hey, like, I know there's a bunch of, like, gangs and fights going on this night at Kings Island, but you know what? They didn't bother me. I just got jumped by a goose.
Beat that. But, well, this has been a fun episode, and thank you so much, Leah, for moderating this fun episode.
Hey, thanks
and we
for
will
letting
definitely
me come on. It was fun.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have you back on, do an interview episode, just some other fun stuff. And we got some other creative things coming up soon, and we'll get those nailed down and have maybe some more of our team on for that. But, Leah, do you want to go ahead and plug yourself since you're on the podcast this week?
Yes. So go ahead and follow me on Instagram. My personal is _ Leah, Leah with 2 H's. Joy, JOYY _ and then my vlog / travel / coaster trips, whatever y'all want to call it. I post more fun content behind the scenes of me, of me, or of me and Ryan. It is livin.like-Leah. And I also recently added, I made me and Ryan a new TikTok account, so we're going to see where that goes. I do moderate it. I do post the videos, but Ryan's in the video, so it's technically our TikTok account. It's Ryan and Leah. So go check out our stupid and funny, hilarious videos, because we have, like, vlog clips on there. We have, like, you know, the intro of some of our vlogs to look forward to. So I think that's it of my plug.
A little teaser for that TikTok. One of us may or may not have got pooped on at Cedar Point.
Nice.
Did you tell Donnie about that?
Nope, it's a secret for everyone.
Okay, it's a secret.
Gotta go find out yourself.
Get ready for that vlog, because that's the next vlogs that Ryan's going to be editing is from our Cedar Point trip, and there's 3 whole days of fun-filled adventure.
Okay, lies. The first vlog is going to be the first 2 days. The second vlog is the third day itself.
Oh, excuse me.
So it's 2 vlogs.
Excuse me.
It'll be out soon.
So comment.
Stay tuned.
Team Ryan or Team Leah got pooped on.
We shall see. But anyways, thank you all so much for joining us today on the Ride of Your Life podcast. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can find us at Ride of Your Life Ministries on social medias. You can visit the rideofyourlifeshop.com for all your merch needs, and you can visit our website, rideofyourlifeministries.com. Send us a message. We'd love to interact with you there, as well as our socials. And, so don't forget the meetup next weekend. We would love to see you there. There's no exclusions to who can and cannot come. We want to see everyone there. But we hope to see you on Saturday, June 17th at 11 a.m. So, with that being said, thank you all again for joining us today on the Ride of Your Life podcast. And as we say here on the Ride of Your Life podcast, we don't have an outro. So, see y'all. Peace.